2019 fandom feature, we are going to be talking about a certain film series whose first film is celebrating its 20th anniversary. And it is kind of funny because this movie was coming out in the same year as one of the most anticipated movies, and that, of course, was Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. But a couple of months before that movie hit theaters and wowed audiences at the time, there was a certain science fiction film starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, and for the very first mainstream debut, the beloved actor Hugo Weaving, dealing with technology, martial arts, and some of the most unique special effects ever witnessed, came out in theaters, and it turned out to be a landmark in science fiction film. And that, of course, was the Wachowskis' The Matrix. So, of course, when I saw the trailer for The Matrix in the Super Bowl, I was so excited to see this movie. I wasn't sure if it was going to be playing in many theaters because of all the hype revolving around Star Wars. And even though this movie was coming out 2 months earlier, I wasn't sure if I was going to even get a chance to see it. But I did, and I gotta tell ya, even though this movie looked so familiar plot-wise, it gave us something truly fresh and new. So this, of course, is the story of a far-off future world where all the human beings are jacked into this artificial, modern-day computer dream world. It's basically life that we know today, or at least in 1999, the peak of human civilization, through the means of artificial intelligence. And this one man named Thomas Anderson, who goes by the hacker alias Neo, is one night woken up by a strange message on his computer saying, "The Matrix has you." And he suddenly falls into this rabbit hole that opens him up to a whole new world, the real world. Thanks to Lawrence Fishburne's character Morpheus and Carrie-Anne Moss's character Trinity, they introduce him to the fact that the human race is enslaved by machines, and they act as an energy source for the machines. And this group of humans who have officially escaped the Matrix and gone into the real world want to fight these machines and end them forever and free all the human minds. So this movie was without a doubt one of the coolest films that I ever saw. An amazing soundtrack, bullet time, which was a brand new kind of special effect which did a very unique 3D motion around an action sequence as well as slowing it down, and also the uses of special effects that allow these specific people to go into the Matrix and do some of the most inhuman, spectacular things that you had ever seen on screen before was just something so spectacular to see. It's exciting, it's dramatic, it has some of the most well-known lines in film history now. It is now on the AFI's top 100 films. It's one of the greatest science fiction films of all time, but there's a little bit more to this movie than meets the eye, because even though this movie was beloved by so many people, and I was so shocked to see The Matrix take home 4 Academy Awards, I was excited to see if there was going to be anything more. And we did get 2 more movies in 2003, pretty much back to back, in The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions. And that was when a lot of people started looking at these films saying, these are not great, why are these movies even being made? And another big thing, these movies make no sense. And that is where the interesting part comes in. These movies, believe it or not, were the Wachowskis' attempt to bring anime storytelling to American culture in a big way in live action. And I've got to tell you, as someone who was not even an anime watcher when I first saw The Matrix, I started to watch a lot of anime in college. And after seeing a great deal of how anime is made, the storytelling, the complexities, the areas of gray, The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions are 2 movies that I truly appreciate and enjoy, because this kind of storytelling was even more bold for the Wachowskis, and I think that they really gave us 2 additional landmark films to complete this trilogy and really allowed this kind of storytelling to become such a major pop culture staple in Western culture. And it shows. So many people now, in the Western world. Read mangas. There's access to so much of it. There are so many animes to download, to view, to stream. It's in our culture now. It's not just in Japan and Korea and China. It's here now. And The Matrix is one of the main reasons why it's here. Along with all of that, the cast is good. Regardless of how some of the dialogue is written, it is done the way that it should be. It's one of Keanu Reeves' best performances. It was so great to see newcomers like Carrie-Anne Moss and Hugo Weaving on the big screen. I mean, Hugo Weaving had been in a couple of lower budget films, but thanks to a smart move, within a span of 5 years, to be attached to two of the most well-known and beloved trilogies in all of film at the time, The Matrix and The Lord of the Rings, Hugo Weaving is now a household name. Whether it's V for Vendetta or the Red Skull in Captain America: The First Avenger, The Matrix gave Hugo Weaving a place in Hollywood. And each and every one of these movies are a spectacle. The breakthrough special effects, such complex uses of CGI, so brilliant, so well executed, and even when I watch it, the more I do, the more I understand it, and the more it makes sense, because this movie has a brain. And when a science fiction film has a brain, it's an A+ in my book. If you have not seen any of the Matrix films, you definitely should, because they are just so amazing, so unique. They are unlike anything that you had seen in science fiction. And because of the trend that we are going into right now in the world of science fiction films, The Matrix is one of those movies that you should dust off of your shelf and take a look at and see this beautiful storytelling, this complex style, this incredible set of characters, and everything else in between makes these movies some of the most important in all of film. See these movies, see them on the biggest screen that you can. I just watched them on my 50-inch screen in a Blu-ray player, and they are just fantastic. And also try and find some of the other things that are attached to it, like the Animatrix, which has a great short film that ropes into these 3 films. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and let's discuss the Matrix Trilogy. And I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.